It is time to make the sound, to summon the stream. Greetings, dear viewers. I'm Quill Quickcard, and welcome back to the Community RPG Maker Project. Hello, everybody. Suleiman, I see you were here. Hammy, guess you were here there. I saw a stream starting thing 2 days ago. I don't know how. I think you just saw that it was scheduled. I typically have my stream scheduled early. So this is, if you are new here, a project that I have been working on alongside my viewers. This is a big RPG that I have been building, and as I've been building it, I've been taking as many viewer suggestions as possible and trying to integrate them into the project in ways that are not entirely absurd, which has been very challenging to do. Hello, Aubrey. And yeah, it's been going on for several months now. The project is not done. There's still a lot to be done, but over last week and now today, I have been going through all of the material that has been put into the game so far, showing it off, just, demonstrating what has been built, and starting to collect ideas for the next section of the game. So let's go ahead and load it up, and we will continue playing through what has already been created in the Community RPG Maker Project. Here we go. So, last time, we made it to the city of Chill. So, first thing we're going to do, we're going to walk around, we are going to, talk with all the NPCs, then we'll check out the interiors. On top of showing off what we have built, I am also using this opportunity to basically do bug testing, and as I find bugs or things that need to be fixed, I'll add them to my master document. Everything that we found last time has already been fixed, so that's been taken care of. Fishland. It's the corpse of a giant fish that was colonized by a group of wanderers a long time ago. Alright, let's check out Chill. Welcome to Chill. Sorry you came at such a bad time. The only way out of the tundra is across the white wasteland to the south, but it's completely impossible to navigate except for a few trained folks. Yaris could probably get you across the wasteland. You can usually find him at the bar. Look for a man in a hood. Alright, well that's useful information. There are a couple of hidden caves out on the tundra. Okay. So, a few people wandering around, but not a lot. But more importantly, we ran into something. And it's a hidden chest with 1,000 bottle caps in it. Any other NPCs around? Access to the furnaces is prohibited to regular folk. It's dangerous down there. Okay. Looks like all that is good. Let's check out the interiors. I'm sorry, the baths are currently unavailable. This is a bathhouse. If the map work here looks especially good, it's because this is just a default map with the RPG Maker. I just liked it. So, we do have a bathhouse here in town. We've got the weapon shop. Honestly, there isn't much I can do until we get more fuel for the furnaces. I heard my phone make a noise. There we go. Looking to do some damage. Okay. A cutter and a spring cap gun. That works. Random idea. A Bottomy Corporation agent who got stranded in the game. They also have Punishment Bird plushie and the Big Bird Ego suit, and there's an Easter egg to Project Moon. I do not understand any of those references. They could be done, but I don't have the information to do it. Here we got some guy. He's the biggest man I've ever seen. Leave me alone. I am preparing to go help fix things at the Pepsi shop. Everything in this place breaks so easily, and not a single tech priest or servitor in sight to fix them. Yes, Suleiman, I did. Okay, let's keep checking the various interiors. We'll go to the... yeah, we'll check out the inn. This person isn't paying any attention. They seem not to notice you, or maybe they just don't care. Just a few random NPCs doing their own thing. Be careful not to fall into any of the vents around town. The steam tunnels are very dangerous. Do you know what a lobotomy corporation is? Nope. Man across the bar. Want a drink? Good. Things sure are quiet in town lately. Quiet and cold. I hope they heat up soon. Don't mind the laborers. They tend to get wrapped up in their drinking. The name is Yaris. I work as a guide taking people across the snowfields to the south. I'm sorry, but I can't help you right now. Until the town gets back to normal, I'm needed here. It's my job to keep this town safe. Not that Quartus doesn't do a good job himself, it's just that sometimes he doesn't seem to care about some things. Basically, SCP roguelike. I see. Okay. Keep checking the interiors. See this lump of rock next to me? This here is raw bottle cap ore, a useful ingredient for crafting. Look for mounds just like this one in caves. Oh, and don't try to grab any from the mines. All that area has already been claimed, and you do not want the Miners Guild angry at you. There is a small sign on the pile of rocks. Raw bottle cap ore. I hope we can get back to work again soon. With the furnaces in town running so low, a lot of our usual services have had to be scaled back. My do-it-yourself crafting facility was unfortunately labeled as non-essential. Sigh. I hope that things go back to normal soon. Okay. So, plenty of NPCs giving the gist that things in town aren't great. Welcome! We got the basic armor vendor. Buy a couple pieces for Thatcher. Furnace fire is running like it is supposed to. Magic item shop. I'm no dragon slayer, but I know how to scavenge when I come across a dead one. I have some dragon bones for sale for 2,000 bottle caps if you are interested. Yes. You bought some dragon bones. They are reacting to Ryu's presence. So this is where you get the next upgrade for Ryu. Ryu's scales and claws have grown stronger. Last time there was an issue with it. This time worked well. We successfully upgraded our dragon scales and claws to +3. It successfully got rid of the old ones. Good. Are you interested in magical items? So this vendor sells a staff of Meteor Storm, Thunderstorm, and Ice Storm. We've already got the staff of Ice Storm, so we're pretty good on Thatcher. You have the whiff of magic around you, man. Interested in learning some new spells? I have a scroll of Ice Bolt and a scroll of Lightning Bolt. You can have one or the other for 200 bottle caps. Okay. Tell me about them. The spells I offer are identical in power to your Firebolt. They simply deal damage of a different element. Let's take the Scroll of Lightning Bolt. Thank you for business, dear. Keep an eye out for others like me on your journey. We always have new spells to offer the budding magic users of the world. Good. That works. Thatcher learned Lightning Bolt. The skill does show up in her list. That is functioning. I've got a few fine accessories you might be interested in. We've got hazard-proof boots, warrior's gloves, and sorcerer's gloves. Sorcerer's gloves are probably worth getting just for extra magic. That shop is looking good. That was the bathhouse. And here's the Pepsi shop. Where the heck have you been? It's been days. I was trying to spread the good word, drum up business. Sell the bottles and all that good stuff. We've got big problems, Walter. The Pepsi portation grid has gone down. What? When? How? Without the city furnaces running at full power, the grid just didn't have enough juice to keep itself going. The whole network collapsed. Sounds like I'm about to get a rather tedious assignment. Darn right. It's supposed to be your job to keep an eye on the grid. Corporate wants you to go around and fix up the terminals so the Pepsi can flow freely once more. Well, I suppose somebody has to do it. Might as well get started. Okay, so Malter heads in there. Sounds like Malter could use a hand. You want the good stuff, right? I offer only the very best. So we've got bottles of Pepsi, Pepsi Monster, Crystal Pepsi, which is our status effect healing stuff, and a couple special bottles from Malter, Pepsi Topaz, and Pepsi Lactose, a rare bottle of vintage Pepsi that was designed to appeal to cat people. It was not received well. Add a lore book you can buy from the library, and every monster you come across has its own lore. It would be challenging to integrate that. Although not terribly challenging. That's actually completely viable. New things to add. Bestiary book. Use hidden item method and have monsters activate triggers on death. That'll be enough notes for me to know how to do it. Ideal, an equipable item that's a punishment bird plushie that basically does thorns damage. It attacks 2 times, the attack thrown is the scourge. You're saying an equipable item that has damage reflection on it. I can probably make that work. Equipable item with damage reflection. Note that as a punishment bird. Alright. Let's move on to see good old Malter here at the Great Pepsi Grid. Malter! Huh? Oh, it's you. Sounds like you've got quite the task ahead of you. Yeah, I'm gonna have to visit every major town in the world and recalibrate these darn things. That does sound pretty bad. Well, it ain't gonna be any fun, that's for sure. If you're going to be journeying anyway, you might as well continue with us. Well, I suppose you got a point. Either of you ever recalibrated a transdimensional void rift before? Would you believe me if I said yes? No, I would not. Dang. Basically, this magic circle connects to a giant void that lies outside the normal world. Using that void, we can transport people and objects long distances in a fraction of the time. But it takes a lot of energy to keep them working properly, and this one fell out of sync with the network, and the whole thing fell apart. So I've got to go in there and fix this one and every other terminal in other towns to get them working again. I can see my old ideas there. So what do we have to do? Just head into the grid and I'll tell you what we need to do. Alright, so Maltermite has joined you again, and we're going to head into the Pepsi grid. Very good. Basically, we just need to find a big glowing blue orb and bring it back to this spot. Alright. So, we did have the Spike Stepper boots. We're going to put those on Malter. So, I do want to check something for the purposes of bug testing. I should not be able to trigger the next part of this event. Okay, good. So, this event is not triggering early. I had wondered about that. It's working just the way it should. Now, let's go fix the Pepsi grid for the City of Chill. Did you add any of the ideas from last stream? I did the bug fixes from last stream, but I have not reintroduced any of the new things. So, this is a basic teleportation maze. I don't fully remember the way through it. But that's okay. Oh. Well, that worked. You found the magical orb. If we take this to the exit, it can re-establish the connection to the Pepsi portation grid. Description. This kind of seems familiar to some who knows what happens when you get all 3 plushies of the apocalypse. But good thing this apocalypse plushie is on your side. Kind of looks like a small bird. With a red splotch. Yeah, that'll be way, way too long for any item description for RPG Maker. I can make something work, though. This is a hell of a... teleportation maze I built. Okay. This way. This way. This way? Perfect. Alright, just give me a second here and I should have this all fixed up. Alright, that should do it. This part of the Pepsi portation grid should be Oh, big yawn. Should be working again. Alright. So now we can actually use the fast travel system. Here is the Pepsi portation grid. The one thing I did integrate is the out-of-place merchants. Ah, greetings. 'Tis I, the out-of-place merchant, here to provide you with some basic goods. So he sells crude soda, which is a weak healing potion, cheap energy drinks, which is a weak stamina recovering potion, and the Hammer of Getting Up, which revives a fallen ally with 1 HP. It's fairly cheap, but it can only be used in the menu screen and not in battle. So, there we go. This is what the out-of-place merchants are going to sell. Enough that if someone's having trouble getting through somewhere, they could potentially grind up a little money and get a few restoratives and be able to brute force their way through a situation. If you go to any of the places that haven't been unlocked, they're just sparkles. That is working properly. That's working properly. Whew! Finally got this side working again. Coulter? Malter? What are you doing here? The big wigs gave me the job to get the Pepsi portation grid back in working order. Oof. I do not envy you. Tell me about it. Well, if it helps, I was able to get the Spiretown link up and running already. You should be able to instantly travel back and forth between Spiretown and Chill. That's excellent. Thank you for that. Best of luck. Okay. So we can use the Pepsi... we can Pepsi port to Spiretown. Pepsi Portational Grid, a magical system that connects the towns of Fishland. Shorter description. One of the fabled birds of the apocalypse, but in plush form. It's still going to have to be shorter than that. And this side should bring you back. It does. Good. It'll have to be tweaked for the purposes of the project. I can definitely get the item integrated. I can have a basic reference, but it will have to be adjusted. I can figure that out. So we do have the starting town. So let's try to get that connected to the Pepsi Portation Grid. Luckily, the enemies here are weak enough that we auto-win all the fights. So it doesn't take too long to walk back through the forest. There we go. How short does the description have to be? If you look down at the bottom where it gives the description for this item, that's how long. It has to fit in that space. Alright, let's get the Pepsi Portation Grid up and running. And this one we're going to have to fix. So there's our orb right there. And this time we have a whole bunch of teleporters, only one of which leads to the center. So a little bit more straightforward than the first one. You found the magical orb. If we take this to the exit, it can re-establish the connection to the Pepsi Portation Grid. Good, that functions. Alright, just give me a second and I should have this all fixed up. Good. We teleport out. Alright, that should do it. This part of the Pepsi Portation Grid should be working again. Okay, so here's our first bug. If you can listen closely in the background, you can hear that the background sound that I had playing in the Pepsi Grid is still playing here. So we will make a note to fix that. Have the BGS fade out in Glarf when leaving the Pepsi Grid. An oddly familiar bird of the apocalypse stuck in plush form. That will fit. That will absolutely fit. Hello, Articus. Welcome to the stream. An oddly familiar bird of the apocalypse stuck in plush form. Got it. An apocalypse bird stuck in plush form. Yeah. Okay. So the Pepsi Grid here in Glarf is back up. So now we are able to freely Pepsi port between Glarf, Spiretown, and the town of Chill. And we're going to continue things back in Chill. Now that the Pepsi Grid is repaired, we can advance the story. So we go talk to this guy. Leave me alone. This guy needs a voice. Leave me alone. I am preparing to go fix things at the Pepsi shop. I've already fixed the Pepsi portation grid here. Truly? Ah, thank you. This place is difficult for someone my size to navigate. Just doing my job. I am Quartus Castius, neophyte of the Salamander's 10th Company. I must be on my way. I must be on to my next task as well. I must retrieve more promethium for the furnaces. Promethium? What's that? It is a fuel used in the furnaces that power this town. Without it, the city cannot maintain its industry efficiently. Do you need any help? I can't let such a handsome man out of my sight. I should think not. You are small and weak. You would only get in my way. Alright, bye, Quartus. The nerve of that man. Alright, so that triggers being able to access the next area. Fair enough. Do I not have anybody who mentions where to go? Because I really should add someone clarifying where you need to go in order to actually find this. I really don't think I do. That is interesting. Okay. Add NPC to mention the fissure. Otherwise, players really might not know where to go. Alright, so now we're back into the tundra. Again, if we stick to the main roads, we're not going to get into any fights, but we're not going to do that. Also, Malta, are you full? Yeah, you're full. Good. What's our item situation? Oh yeah, we're fine. We're going to go off the road. And here's our first look at enemies in the tundra. The Arctic Bloom and the Snow Beast. Probably easiest just to auto-attack our way out of it. Thatcher got paralyzed. We'll go into Green Dragon form. Promethium, a magical fuel that efficiently rivals that of a nuclear power plant. Quill, what about getting the Punishment Bird plushie due to a teleportation malfunction and teleport someone from another game? I could do that. Accessed via meeting somebody in a Pepsi portation accident. We can add that into the next town that I build, where maybe when you go into that grid, something different happens. You meet someone else from another world who's already fixed it, or you help them find their way out, and then you're able to get the plushie as a thank you. That should work. If you make the list too long, I'll just start being more discerning about what I put on it. But I do try my best. Alright, let's go with the Dragon Lore. Damn it, Thatcher. But we don't just want, like, random things and references. We also want stuff that enhances the world. Because ideally, other people are going to be playing this. So we want there to be a cohesive experience of some form. But first, let's head inside and play a game of Monster Ball. A mash for all. Well, hello there, you fine folks. Have you come to try your hand at Monster Ball? It's 50 bottle caps for a game. What is this? Monsters will appear in the area above us. Snowballs will appear on the counter near you. Your job is to hit those monsters with the snowballs. The big plant monster is worth 1 point. Goblins, skeletons, and slimes are worth 3. The demon is worth 5. If you hit nothing, you lose 1 point. Score big and win a prize. Care to try? It's 50 bottle caps a game. Yep, let's do that. Okay, you keep mentioning Lobotomy Corporation, but you're not providing me enough context to actually make anything. This would be about as effective as if I told you to draw me a picture of Ayla from the Earth's Children series, which you've probably never even heard of. At some point, you need more information than just make a thing that is this. I can integrate almost anything, but I do need details in order to do it. Come on. Damn it. Frickin' demon. Being hard to hit. Okay, my final score was 88. Not bad. More than 70 points. That was an amazing performance. Here, you've won yourself a set of crafting items. So we won a bubbling water, a flavor packet, candied crystals, a B-side level 1, and bottle cap ore level 1. So we bought a bunch of crafting materials. Of course, we can't actually craft anything yet. There is one more cave here on the tundra. So let's head there. Come on, Malter. Ouch. Okay. The Arctic blooms are doing exactly what I hoped they would. They're just sort of like a basic debuffing enemy. I know what Punishing Bird kind of bird Shima Enigma mixed with Dove Bleeding Heart. Again, I do not have the slightest clue what any of that means. I like that part in the Valley of Horses when Ayla first meets Jondalar, and, you know, she's having to take care of him. That's probably my favorite part of that book. You should draw me a picture of that. Alright, Icy Cavern. So this is a sliding floor puzzle. Think a Pokemon Ice Gym or something. There's treasures up there. But first I have to navigate around this room. I assume up here? And then probably here? Maybe? No. Okay, how do I get through that? Fun fact, Maltermite is a wrong writing of Walter Wright. Yes, that is correct. Okay. So what am I missing here? What was the intended solution? Ah, this is the intended solution. Haha! I made it through. And I found a Diet Pepsi and 1,500 bottle caps. It was a surprising amount of work to make this sliding floor puzzle. Sliding floor puzzles are surprisingly involved to design. Because if you miss even a single possibility and don't prepare against it, the whole thing breaks. Alright, now let's head to the fissure. So the fissure is in the southwest part of the tundra. But first I have to navigate through the snowy forest in order to reach it. Okay. Let's go with the Dragon Roar. And Shima Inigo is basically a white bush-tipped bird, dubbed Bleeding Heart is above, but it has a red in the middle of a chest. Okay. That does provide me more visual information. I feel that I am still missing a lot of contextual information, though. So, to carry on my analogy, and the giant red splotch on their chest is actually a mouth, okay? I feel I'm going to have to go back into the example I've been using to highlight what it means to provide incomplete context. So, I will tell you that you can, of course, remember that Ayla is blonde. Yeah. She's blonde, and she's probably got, like, some muscular tone, but it's not going to be crazy. It's not going to be someone who has been trying to work for that kind of physique. They just, you know, they naturally have a lot of physical labor in their life, and they have a physique that demonstrates that. These streams are an exercise in communication, for me and for my viewers. We all have to be able to actively communicate very, very carefully. Quill, it's very difficult explaining a character for a series you don't know about. Exactly. The challenge is finding a way to do it. So, for instance, I could now tell you the Earth's Children series is a series of 5 books by Gene Ewell, set in the Ice Age, following Stone Age cultures. The primary character of the series is Ayla, who is banished from her adopted family, a tribe of Neanderthals, and briefly has to live on her own before reconnecting with a Homo sapiens man and traveling with him to join his family. Now I have provided enough context to actually be more clear about what I am talking about. When you want to give background information, you have to go back and provide a good amount of details leading up to what you're trying to explain. That's how you go from simple bits of information to a full picture that can be acted upon. When a PM sleeper agent finds out this RPG maker has a lobotomy corporation abnormality, they would raid the RPG maker. See, again, that provides me very little context. Cord has passed through here just a short while ago. If you are with him, it should be alright for you to pass. Let's actually mention the fissure, at least 1 in Chill and 1 on the road. Okay. We can have an NPC on the road that mentions the fissure and that you can't go there and works as a marker. That should work fine. Oh my god, stop beating me up! You're so rude! You damnable snow beasts. Thatcher, would you mind, please? I'm reading your comments, Suleiman. You don't need to worry about that. I am trying to get through playing this today, so... Yeah, add salt that deals half the max damage of the Tundra monster. I don't think all PM fans are obsessed with the game. They would be literally summoned out of nowhere. Okay. But would they meaningfully contribute? That's the real question. Okay, we've got new enemy type, the Rogue Elementalist. Ryu could use some more... There we go. A little bit more health. Quill, it would be free playtesting. See, I don't necessarily believe that's true. I've thrown all kinds of references into this project already, and have basically no one plays it. Oh, wait, let's drop a save first. Alright, so we reached the fissure. The fissure has yet another out-of-place merchant. Honestly, buying a few cheap energy drinks would help. And just in case, a hammer of giving up. What are you doing here? Why have you followed me? Whoa, calm down there, man. We're just trying to give you a hand. I do not require your assistance, nor do I believe you are capable of providing it. Oh, come on. This place seems pretty dangerous. Surely we can be safer together. Do as you wish. But be aware that your lives are not my responsibility nor my priority. Yeah, we get it. You're a big tough guy, sure. Quartus is absurdly strong. While he is in the party, you will not gain any meaningful experience in battle. Okay. So, say hello to Quartus. He is a level 40 Space Marine with over 7,400 HP, an attack stat of over 1,200, defense of over 1,300, over 740 in his other stats, and he's carrying a bolt pistol. Also, he can use a flamer that deals heavy fire damage to all enemies. Can we leave with Quartus? No. I am not leaving until I have secured more Prometheum. Rogue Elementalist. A rogue that has learned magic and lost control because his body couldn't handle the magic. Alright, Molten Slimes. So, here's Quartus. So, Quartus is pretty strong, and he's so fast that he acts multiple times in battle before anyone else gets to do anything. You still get your money rewards. Oh, there is some crude bottle cap ore. Be on the lookout for those. So this is a lava floor dungeon. If you step on the lava, you get hurt. Oh no! It's a feral fissure feline and rock.png. Well, obviously we'll kill the cat. Quick, attack the rock! The rock took no damage. Yep, you cannot kill the rock. You realized you can just walk away from rocks. And then you win. Also, can you make the NPC that gives you the punishment bird plushie a long-haired blue girl who has sparkly eyes named Bong Bong and can be recruited through a battle? They are a healer. I kind of hate that is actually a series of consistent statements that are explained well enough that they could actually be integrated fully. So, congratulations, Aubrey Nancy. You have succeeded in providing enough meaningful information that it is actually actionable. Access via meeting somebody in a Pepsi portation accident. They are a long... blue-haired girl with sparkly eyes named Bong Bong, and they will join the team for a little bit. They are a healer. I mean, to be fair, Suleiman, I do have a Space Marine in the party right now. So I can have much more thorough specific references and just have it be like a temporary thing that happens at one point. So there is a treasure chest there, but in order to reach it, I'm going to have to walk across the lava. More molten slimes. And we got it. A rare bottle of Pepsi Magma. I ain't never even seen one of these. Only heard the legends. Should make me pretty darn strong, though. Alright, so we found a bottle of Pepsi Magma. A rare bottle of vintage Pepsi that was self-heating. Most of them exploded. Resists fire damage. Alright, let's try to get off of the fire and then heal. There we go. There should be some more bottle cap ore around here. Yes, Suleiman, I read that the first time. Alright, lava squid. So the thing is, you really don't want to attack the rocks. And I will show you why. If you attack the rock... Weird rock reacts violently to being targeted. So it'll actually retaliate if you attack it. Alright, crude bottle cap ore, that's good to have. Alright, let's see how these guys like my flamer. That hit for over 103,000 damage. Cordis is unreasonably strong. More treasure. 1,500 bottle caps. Also, if the Bong Bong is temporary, that implies that there's an event where the teleporter accidentally dragged characters from Project Moon into this game. Again, I do not have enough context to have any understanding of the implications of that statement. You're basically going to have to write me a small essay. Maybe add paper that can defeat rock, and there's a chance to give you some random stuff like bottle caps and Pepsi, and if you're lucky, it can drop rock Pepsi. That's an interesting idea, especially because I'm going to use the rock enemies later in the game. Okay. Add paper. which instantly defeats rock. And rocks defeated this way can drop rock Pepsi for Malter. I like that. Oh, we found a flavor packet. Nice. So we could go this way and take a shortcut. We're going to go the long way. More rocks.png. Yep, you realize you can just walk away from rocks. Very good. And more bottle cap ore. The feral fissure felines. So again, we're going to use the heavy flamer. Not bad. We got a bottle of Pepsi. Oh, good. Here's another fight that the flamer can solve. Quartus is very strong. Since everything is soda themed, can the Bong Bong be wearing the Ego suit? Again, I don't know what an Ego suit is. If you want me to integrate ideas, you have to provide me enough information to act upon. You meant the soda ego. I don't know what that is. Okay, now we're in here. We can remove the walking sound effect from the ship door in the fissure. This part of the game has been surprisingly not buggy. Yes, this is it. This is Promethium. A little of this will have the furnaces in chill burning like stars for another decade. A whole decade? From just that? At the least, I estimate. I admit I underestimated your abilities. You're not the helpless folk I took you for. Are you kidding? You're stronger than 100 of us. I should hope so. But I must depart immediately. The longer the furnaces run cold, the more damage is done to the city infrastructure. Even minutes count. Wait, you're just leaving us? Forgive me, adventurers, but you are more than strong enough to fend for yourselves, and I must return as quickly as possible. May our paths cross again. We got ditched. Yep. So, Quartus ditches you. Quartus just takes off and leaves you behind. Rock.png. It's invincible. He scares the life out of scissors. Only thing that scares is a piece of paper, and the word book is enough to send it to the void realm. Okay. I am going to drop a quick save for debug purposes, and I will give you an example of what I mean, Aubrey. So, do we have anything shinier than that? Maybe those? Like, basically all you've given me is long blue-haired girl and armor. So, based purely on the information that you have provided, this would constitute a finished product. And I'm going to assume that I have probably not accidentally already stumbled on a proper design. If you want to have these ideas integrated into the project in very specific ways, you'll have to provide very specific information that I can act upon. Otherwise, I can only fulfill the specific details that you've provided. Like right there, you've already provided another extremely important detail. Snow White skin. Okay. Oh, nope. Not that one. There. So, based on that, this is now a thorough finished character. So, that's not the one I'm going to use, but I'm just saying if you want me to integrate specific ideas, you need to communicate with me as specific as possible. This is an exercise in communication. This is homework. This is you selling me on your interests and your passions and giving me enough of a background in them that I am able to represent them fairly. So, anyway, without Quartus, now we're going to have to fight our way out of this dungeon. How much? Oh, also, yeah, Malter has Baja Blast now. Spew Vile Soda onto an enemy, driving them into a rage, preventing them from using special abilities. That's pretty sweet. Luckily, Thatcher has Ice Storm. Hello, what? Welcome to the stream. Let's just cut across the lava. Alright, rock.png. So we just gotta take out the feline. Rock.png was one of my original ideas for this project, and I am so damn proud of it. It's such a stupid context, and I absolutely love just using, like, an uncropped PNG without a transparent background for it. Oh god, that makes me so happy. Lobotomy Corporation is a game about maintaining monsters like the SCP Foundation, but you're a manager of Corp that is an energy company that extract something when the albino are satisfied. Abno. Okay. That is more context, and I thank you for it. I think I'm good, honestly. Thatcher, Ice Storm. The consensus seems to be that this game is moving toward having references to something called Lobotomy Company. I still can't believe that guy ditched us back there. While chat attempts with moderate competency to explain the concept or provide enough information. We really should go give him a piece of our mind. Alright, so we are out of there. Honestly, I would be lying if I said I don't find it to be slightly entertaining. God, frickin' snow beasts. Okay. Thatcher, we're actually going to need your help here. Because the snow beasts can actually hit pretty darn hard. Malter. Go, Walter. Thatcher! Good, you're not dead yet. Okay, as I had hoped, the fissure is a good, challenging dungeon. I do like that. It fulfills the exact purpose I was hoping that it would. Okay. Got it. Maltermite is now level 10. Good. Whoops. Nope, didn't need that. Bottles of Pepsi. Top off, everybody. Cheap energy drinks. That'll keep me going at least a little bit longer. Until I get back to the road. Alright, a cold crazed combatant. Baja Blast! Not bad. Thatcher, do your thing. You're still alive, huh? Okay, Cold Craze Combatant is defeated. I should be getting closer to the road. There we go. Alright, we can now safely head back to chill. We are sitting on over 4,000 bottle caps. That's pretty darn good. And I want to get one fight off the road real quick. Because we can have Malter get us a bit more money with Land Goes Up. Gains 790 bottle caps. Sweet. Ice Breath. Dang it. I'll catch up with chat when I get back into town. Okay, Ryu is now level 10. Thatcher is now level 10. That's good. And back in town. And we will stay at the inn. Okay. Alright, we got a lot of stuff here. Molten slimes. Once there was normal slimes, but their body couldn't handle the heat of the magma around there. They're not dead, not alive. They're in constant pain because of the heat. Can you make a custom fright for the default armor for Lobotomy Corporation agents? No, because you have not provided me enough information to act on that. Death is common in the back streets, and living in the nest is like living normal life, but there will be unexpected death by distortion or murders or artists that are blood in their art. Because I want after the event that has Lobotomy Corporation, characters get dragged here for random agents to be an enemy after the event is done. Again, I don't have enough information to act on that. It's all controlled by the head. The head is from ABC Corp. Arbiters are from A Corp. I forgot what B Corp is, but C Corp is Claw. Are we going to include any Warhammer encounters, considering we have a Space Marine? Later on, you're going to double back around to Quartus in a different event, and he's going to be fighting you with Skaven. So that's at least something that's going to happen. There's Mercenary, but they are called Fixers. They are 9 to 1 grade, and the strongest are the Colored Fixer. They have all the freedom they want, and they are the strongest and famous Fixers. The Red Mist, Blue Reverberation, Purple Tear, Vermilion Core, Cross, Black Silence. Quill, can the Bong Bong be a temporary or not in a cutscene with a decision? Like, you could choose whether or not to let Bong Bong return to Lobotomy Corporation. This is such a specific reference that you were asking for. It's just going to be temporary. Like how I've used Quartus as just temporary. Otherwise, this whole project sidelines into just being adventures of this other property featuring the rest of the game, which is something I do want to avoid. Give me 1 minute here. Just a sec. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back now. So what were we saying? The distortion is a people that accepted their flaws and slowly become an abnormality, but they're still human, but they can be killed because Abno are immortal and can't be killed. Okay. Does it let me talk to this guy now? Name is Eurus, work as a guide, taking people across the snowfields to the south. Are you looking to cross the snowfields? Yes. Excellent, some work at last. If you go south from the town, you'll find a lake. Just southwest of the lake is a narrow path that leads to the snowfield. I'll be waiting there. So, Quartus got back to town with the Prometheum, so there should be a lot of updated dialogue. Pretty sure the laborers are the same. Don't mind the laborers. Things have really picked up around town lately. Be careful not to fall in any of the steam vents. Okay, that's all the same dialogue. That's fine. We got a lot of work to do now that the furnaces are roaring again. The only way out of the tundra is across the south. Yes, we've heard that. Good day. More NPCs, more lively town. It's so much warmer with the furnaces roaring. Yes. And as you can see, the smoke that is coming out of places is now a different color. So before it was all like white and gray. Now it is yellow-orange. One furnace that's not working at the entrance to town. Fix furnace at entrance to chill. Have to fix that. And if we check the shops now... First off, this is the crafting place. Person explains to you where you can find crafting ingredients. With the furnaces running at full power again, I can finally go back to offering up this place for do-it-yourself crafting. Do you want to know how crafting works? Yes. Crafting is done by combining two materials together to create an item. It could be a consumable, a piece of equipment, or just about anything else. For example, if you combine bubbling water with a flavor packet, you can create your own healing sodas. Not very great ones, but it's still better than nothing. And if you combine two bubbling water together, you can create a steam bomb to help you escape from battles. Here, you can have these to try it out. You receive 2 bubbling water and 2 flavor packets. Would you like to do some crafting? No charge to use the facilities for you fine folk, of course. So, basically you can combine any of the crafting materials and create things out of them. So I'm going to take the candied crystals and a flavor packet. This is a new recipe. The results are unknown. Would you like to proceed with crafting? Yes. You discovered the recipe for making cocaine. And we have now made cocaine, and we can now make cocaine whenever we want. Increases speed, defense, and spirit for a few turns. So we have a whole set of crafting recipes. So if we take the bubbling water and bubbling water, designing this system was so incredibly involved. And I do still need to do a thorough debug test on every single possible combo for the crafting. Make sure that they all work, which is going to take a while. There are a couple of hidden caves out on the tundra. Yes, sorry I'm busy. Got my buddy down there and I need to stay alert. Okay, good. The shops also have some new offerings. Finally, I can make some better equipment. Now that the furnaces are back to full power, I can offer some much better equipment. Now? Fix, chill, armor, merchant, post-Prometheum dialogue. I really should have the word that in this sentence. Yeah, that's some really good stuff. Let's buy steel mail and steel mail. And we can also get a ranger's helmet, a ranger's suit. The furnaces here are now running purple instead of orange, so that's nice. What if Bong Rong stays at the end after the leave cutscene because it's too dangerous to turn if I don't have ego? I don't know what ego is. I do not have context to understand that statement. Okay, you still sell the same stuff. You still sell the same stuff like you're supposed to, so that works. Does the Pepsi shop sell anything new? With the furnaces back to full power, I can finally sell that elusive Diet Pepsi again. And they do. The healthiest of all sodas revives a fallen ally to half their maximum health. Okay. Good. And the weapon shot should also have some new offerings. We can get some even better stuff now that we can properly fire up the crucibles. So I can get the experimental cap gun. And might as well grab the poignard while I'm at it. Yep, go ahead and optimize. Very good. Alright, let's go see Quartus, who ditched us. You just left us back there. Yes, and here you are. No worse for it. Damn it, man, we could have died in there. Were you trying to get us killed? Not at all. It was merely clear to me that you did not need me to survive. My greater responsibility was here. What is wrong with you? I have lived a very long time. Over 300 years on this world alone. I have watched people be born, grow, and die, over and over. Day-to-day concerns mean little to me. I am focused on what will have meaning over decades, over centuries. The city prospers by my efforts. Hundreds of lives across many generations. That is my responsibility. And I am sorry, but it is more important than the lives of these strangers. Ouch. I did not mean you harm.
but I am sorry if my actions endangered you. Well, that's something, I guess. Here, take this, a token of my goodwill. You received a copy of the Codex Astartes. I must return to my praise now. Best of luck to you. And another Codex Astartes, a confusing book full of bizarre rules and rituals. Increases all of the characters' stats by 5. Let's give it to Thatcher.
Ego is basically the weapons and armors in Lobotomy Corporation.
Okay. So, I think we are just about done now, except for the hot spring, because I did put in a hot spring scene. I want to save it in case it's not working properly. Are you interested in our relaxing in our world-famous baths? It's 25 gold per use. Okay, good. So, as the game develops, I am going to have bath scenes, dialogue bits that I will add in and it will play. So, fun little character moments. Glad to see that those are working. We are now ready to try to cross the tundra and get to the most recently developed city in the game. So far, this portion of the game has been very, very good. Relatively bug-free. Not much I've needed to improve in it either. Alright, there goes our guide. Several hours of crossing the blinding white later. It's not too much further now. Be on guard. There's something up ahead. Ah. That could be a problem. And it's time for the big boss of the Tundra portion of the game. The Red Dragon. Alright, first let's Dragon Shift Green. There we go. We've got a shield to reduce physical damage. Let's go with the Frostbite. Let's start with an enrichment so we can get double rewards. Ryu. Yeah, go ahead with Dragon Roar. Malter, you're doing pretty good. Ice Storm. Okay, we're doing pretty good. Let's go with the feeding. How much does Cap Flick hit for? Okay, respectable. But this is really Thatcher's time to show off, with the Ice Storms and Frostbiting. Alright, let's Dragon Shift Blue, and we can go with our Ice Breath. Thatcher, Ice Storm. Got him. Okay, fight's over. We get a big reward. We found a Diet Pepsi. That was amazing. Sure am glad I'm on your side, Ryu. Look, it left behind an orb, just like at the mountain. A glowing red orb shines bright in the snow where the dragon fell. Ryu took the red dragon gem. Ryu's scales and claws have grown stronger. And Ryu can now shift into a red dragon. Congratulations, Ryu. Not bad, kid. You're getting a hell of a lot stronger real damn quick. Such mysterious creatures, dragons. They sure are. We should move on. We don't want to be stuck out here after dark. Follow me. Alright, so Ryu has unlocked another form for dragon shifting. You can now travel across the tundra on the overworld. So, yeah, we are now able to freely go back to the overworld, and we can go to the cave, we can go to the fissure, and we can, of course, go to Chill. And from here, we can either go to the world map or the tundra. Ryu is now at Dragon Claws and Scales +4. The old versions are out of the inventory, like they're supposed to be. Good, that is functioning. And we can now proceed to the next part of the game. From here at the beachside tunnel. Did I ever end up fixing this? Yes, I did. Good. What are we going to do now? We can't cross the snow without a guide. Thank the gods I'm finally out of Wallachia. There's a tunnel that runs under the channel and leads to Wallachia. I'm never going back. Like a coward, I fled from Wallachia. Doesn't sound like things are good in Wallachia. Quill, the main character should act confused when they meet Bongbong and grow increasingly confused as Bongbong tries explaining yourself. You haven't provided me enough information for Bongbong to explain themselves. I'll be confused trying to write it because I have no idea what's happening. I don't know who this character is. I don't know what this character's motivations are. I don't know what this character can do. I don't know how this character would act. I'm operating on very little information here. Alright, so here's the underwater tunnel. Climb into the back and I'll shuttle you over to Wallachia. So we're able to take a car, and they drive us through the underground tunnel. Lighting is so bad down here. Why don't they put more lights in this tunnel? Oh, they used to, but it really agitates the giant horrible sea monsters. And we have a mid-journey talk with our driver. I'll be here anytime you want to cross the ocean. Good. That's a nearly 20-kilometer walk. Are you crazy? Okay, good. The barriers work effectively. And welcome to Wallachia. I don't recognize you. Why in the world would you come here? Do I stay or do I go? Don't cause any trouble. If there are gods, they have abandoned us. You knock, but there is no answer. The door does not open when you try it. There is a witch staying upstairs. She's been busy, studying the things that keep attacking the city. She disgusts me. But it has proven very helpful. I think I'm getting better. We are doing what we can to aid the wounded. Damned monsters did this to me. I was training and I took an arrow to the knee. I don't know if I'll be able to adventure anymore. We're doing what we can to aid the wounded. Good, that works. Ah, yeah, this looks like a horrifying mortuary. Fascinating, these undead. A truly unique amalgamation of magics. Yes, there is much to be learned here. So little I have grasped, and still enough to be useful. I have a scroll of Zenith and a scroll of Nadir. You can have one or the other for 1,200 bottle caps. Tell me about them. Zenith is a spell that hits all of your enemies and will deal lots of extra damage to the undead. Nadir is the same, except it is most effective against holy and sacred beings. Do I even have 1,200? Oh yeah, I can definitely afford this. We are going to take the Zenith spell. So Thatcher gets a new power. Thatcher learned Zenith. So where I work, there's creatures called abnormities
Sorry, what now? Basically, very dangerous creatures that we keep in containment so we can get angry. Well, that's what the manager told me.
Okay. We've got a restaurant with no one in it. Oh, hello. I'm sorry, we are not open for regular business at this time. Good. The inn, which is 100 bottle caps per night. Alright, at some point I did program in a full restore, so that's good. There's a boat here. There should not be a boat here. There should not be a boat in Wallachia. And where do you think you're going? Are you crazy? It's dangerous out there. Okay. Grr, stupid cart. An empty house that seems to have been abandoned. Nobody is allowed into the storeroom except on official business. Mama said I shouldn't leave the house anymore, but it's so boring. Dad told me I can't play hide and seek right now. Check the shops. I wonder who ran this shop. Welcome. We've got all the facilities you need to do your own crafting. We also sell a few basic materials. Yes, you do. And the actual craft menu, is that working properly? Yes. Okay, let's combine a beast hide and bottle cap ore. Discovered the recipe for making composite helmets. And then if you try a recipe you've already done before, like if I do bubbling water and bubbling water, it'll ask you if you want to craft it. It'll tell you what it is. And then it will prompt you for how many you want to craft. But I don't have enough materials to make 2 of them. So that functions the way it's supposed to. Another abandoned house. That is working. Welcome to the shop. You folks need a good drink. Another Pepsi shop. And let's go ahead and head into the Pepsi grid and try to repair stuff. So this one I remember because there's actually a logic to it. In this teleportation maze, basically everyone that you go to will send you in the opposite direction. So I went south, I ended up teleporting north. If I go into this rightmost teleporter, the one on the east, I get teleported west. You found the magical orb. That one. And we fix the grid. And the Pepsi grid should be functional now. It is. Okay. The background sound fades appropriately, so that works. Alright, checking the other shops. Warrior gloves, sorcerer gloves, a ghostly belt. Gave significant chance to evade physical and magical attacks. Or the clear head charm that prevents effects that cause loss of control. Good. Shop is functioning. The guard has had to take over here. This place is too important to leave idle. And they sell some basic steel armor. And it's connected to the weapon shop. Better get yourself something to fight with. Who knows when you'll need it. They have a poniard and a steel sword. Good. Those shops are all functional. Here we have an empty clothing shop. And another abandoned house. What the hell is an manager been spoken? Probably in Kelthalin? Isn't that the angrier workplace procedures?
Well, when you put it like that, it does sound weird. That's about a small flavor text think would happen at the crew chats with Bon Bon. Okay. I still feel quite lost. So we've checked out everything on this side of town. Don't cause any trouble. Don't cause any trouble. And now let's head to the other part of town. Q, halt! Who are you? What are you doing in Wallachia? Us? We're just passing through. With a dragon? What, you mean Ryu? He's harmless. He's a dragon! Whoa, calm down there, lady. No need to be racist. He is a dragon. Just consider him my escort, then. I've come to get the Pepsi-portation network up and running again. Oh? Okay, they have chats. That would be very helpful. How long do you expect it will take you? Already done, actually. This is fantastic news. Please excuse me, I need to report this information. But wait! What is it? What the heck's going on around here? Sea seems so empty, run down. It wasn't like this the last time I was here. You don't know? I'm sorry, I must go. Wait! It's midday. The captain's probably at the cafe. Pardon me. Wait! The captain said they had a meeting at the temple today. Pardon me. Alright, and so there's our first meeting with Elena. What the hell was that? Very good. I am so proud of the work I've put into this city. There's an old temple to the south. I wonder if we might find some answers there. How much longer can we hold out? Okay, we got a bar. This might be the only place left in town that's actually turning a profit. I'm no fighter. There's nothing I can do but wait around until this all comes to an end. I don't remember seeing you around, but what the hell does my memory count for anymore, eh? Just leave me alone. He's completely passed out. You think I'm too young to be in here? As if any of that matters anymore. A dragon? Have I drank so much I'm seeing things now? Wouldn't surprise me at this point. Fair enough. Alright, things are not good in Wallachia. This is Elena's house. So we shouldn't actually be able to interact with anything in here, and we're not able to. That's good. This is Mr. Bones' house. Oh, hello. Please be careful out there. These are dangerous times. Good. The boat is not there, and you can't really see anything on the other side. That's good. So many family names on these stones that I don't recognize. The graves don't do anything, so that's good. Oddly, the undead have never come from the graveyard. Still, best to keep watch. We have a big old temple. Signs of neglect all over the town. That's good. I can't remember who used to sleep in this room. Okay. What's probably a mother and a child's bedroom, but you can't remember who was there. Good. Everything's just kind of run down, everything's not quite right. Even the lawns, are very slightly off. Little bits of dead flowers, weeds where there probably shouldn't be. The graveyard's not terribly well maintained. I was able to get across the exact kind of effect I was looking for this town. I'm very pleased with that. Oh. Okay. Stop player from being able to get inside the small garden east of Wallachia Temple.
Magic Quill themselves is an NPC, and if you talk with different party members, you get unique dialogue. That's an idea. I got my eye on you. Come to offer prayers? That might be about all we can do right now. Alright, the Temple of Life. Oh, hello. Please feel free to offer your prayers as you wish. Formal services are suspended for the time being. Is there even anyone listening anymore? We have stockpiled as many supplies as possible. I still need to build the basement of the church. Build the watch post. Build the temple basement. That's a thing I need to do. What more can we do right now except pray and hope? Are the gods punishing us? Please do not interrupt my prayers. No need to leave out the seats in times like this. This place must be defensible at a moment's notice. She seems preoccupied. Alright, let's do this. It is time for probably the most interactive event I have ever made in RPG Maker. Are these the ones you mentioned? Oh, yes, this is them. They said that they are getting the Pepsi portation grid up and running again. You can fix the grid? Already got it done, ma'am. Excellent. We can begin bringing in reinforcements immediately. Elena, start sending messengers to call for aid. Yes, sir. What the hell's going on here? Things are not good in Wallachia. The undead have been besieging the city for weeks, but with the grid down and the storms in the tundra, we have been unable to call for help. Captain! The undead come once more! Damn it, relentless bastards! Go, gather anyone who can fight. At once! Can you fight? What? You look capable enough. Get your butts outside and assemble in the plaza. I think we just got drafted. Well, we might as well help. Good. Are the evacuations complete? Yes, sir. The civilians have been gathered at the temple. Sergeant, take your unit and hold the southern gate. At once! Let's go. Corporal, take my unit and begin setting our defenses at the east gate. I will join you shortly. Yes, sir. Hey, quit shoving. Priestess, take one of my officers and wait with the civilians. Make sure you log them all. Of course. I'll be praying for your victory. We all will. Elena, you're with the dragon. Take the south gate. You other two, you're with me. Let's go. Don't just stand there. We have to get going. Can you breathe fire? Fire has proven to be an effective method. You can? That's perfect. Alright. So here is our newest party member, Elena, the level 10 paladin, who starts out with a set of steel armor and has a few skills: prayer, lucky slash, and justice punch. Let's do this. I shall guard the healers with my life. So we've got a fight going on over here. Not bad. Get in there and destroy these things. This is working. I've got the action scene down. Now it's fight time. The well-rendered zombie, the high pixel count zombie, and the giant zombie hand have all emerged. So these are enemies that were submitted by viewers. The hand and the pixel count zombie, at least. This horrible-looking, well-rendered zombie is one that I created. And as you can tell, I am an incredibly skilled visual artist. Alright, let's go, Elena. Fire breath. Okay. So let's take a look at Elena's abilities. Prayer lets you toggle praying. So you lose 10% stamina per turn, you counterattack enemies and have increased defenses and chance to be targeted. Justice Punch, deliver a mighty punch of righteous fury that deals extra damage to undead and demons. And Lucky Strike, or Lucky Slash, a risky strike that deals an unpredictable amount of damage to the enemy. Justice Punch! Nice. Ryu's party was victorious. We move in, we take the next one. Alright, more well-rendered zombies and more high pixel count zombies. These things can be pretty tough. I can pray to increase my defenses and protect my allies more effectively. It can be pretty exhausting keeping that up for too long, though. So we're going to start with Fire Breath and then Prayer. Alright, Elena prays. So Elena blocks and counters attacks. Boom. Prayer can be pretty damn effective. I have an idea of a living dragon puppet enemy. Okay. Keep going. Keep giving me more ideas. Describe it as much as you can. We also got a new crafting material, the Necrid Heart. Not bad. Elena, get up here quick! The captain is in trouble. Take my spot on the line. At once! Okay, so they block you. The screen starts to tint a bit. Good. So now we head up. And we can see that things have gotten a bit worse up here at the eastern gate. And if we go back down, we can see that the situation has changed a bit here as well. Maybe I was a little overzealous with my firebolts. You think? You lit this place on fire! Here, this Pepsi will have you back on your feet in a second. They just keep coming. Ugh! You'll be alright, lady. Just step back for a minute. Elena, relieve the captain. Alright, so we have to move in now. A dragon puppet that looks like a dragon skull that's piloted by a ghost. Thinking of a magic hat for Thatcher, which gives you a move that looks like Present from Pokemon. Okay, keep on going. Give as many details. Be as specific as you possibly can. The more specific and thorough an idea, the more likely I am going to be able to integrate it exactly how you want me to. Alright, 2 giant zombie hands. Go with the Fire Breath. Let's go with Justice Punch. Not bad. Ooh, that was a big hit. Good job, Ryu. We found 2 Necrid Hearts this time. All together, attack! Finish it off, Elena. And it is 4 headless zombies. Another one that I created. You can tell because of how incredibly beautiful it is. Alright, let's try Lucky Slash. Ooh, we were unlucky that time. Ouch! Alright, Elena, try again. Lucky Slash. You missed. Elena, you are being very not helpful right now. That's okay. We'll just go with a Justice Punch. Not bad. Not bad at all. Wow. You did not hit that for much. Okay.
East gate is secure. Elena, move to reinforce the south. Yes, sir. Okay. Good, good, good. Okay. All the dialogue looks appropriate. We'll drop our energy drinks. Pokemon present in the move that deals variable damage at different rates with a rare chance to heal your enemies. Yeah, it can definitely be done. It would not be difficult to integrate. Everything good here? So far. But you know what happens when enough of these things go down. Yeah. Should be any moment now. There! What the hell? These things don't know how to die. The flesh just keeps on moving. Uh-oh, that's probably not good. Can you handle this, Elena? I'm afraid I'm rather at my limit. Yes, sir. I'll help too. Alright, full party, battling against the zombie flesh puddle. Malter, let's go for enrichment. Let's go with just a regular attack to start. Let's activate prayer. So the zombie flesh puddle regenerates 1,000 health every turn. Which is not good. This thing will just keep regenerating unless we stop it. Here, use these bombs to curse it and cripple its ability to heal. And Elena gave you 10 cursed bombs. I can always exorcise away any curses it uses on us, too. Just make sure we can heal while it can't, and we got this. And Elena can now use exercise. Alright. Oof. Alright, it dropped a bunch of curses. So we're going to drop a curse bomb. Deals mild darkness damage to all enemies and curses them. So now it's cursed and it can't regenerate. We can use exercise to remove curses from us. Alright. Now we are in an advantage. Yep. It went from recovering 1,000 health for a turn to 50. Thatcher. Let's go with Zenith. That is a crap load of damage. Elena, you're basically just here to block. So, go ahead and restore your stamina. Malter, you're up. Malter, you're going to be on item duty. Thatcher, you're on Zenith. Damn, that is strong. Malter. We should be okay. Justice Punch! Ryu, Fire Breath. Thatcher, Zenith. We got it. We defeated the zombie flesh puddle. Welcome back, Suleiman. Quill, I have... Okay, we got some stuff. The lines of animal came out of the hat, with the flower being the weakest, healing the enemy, rabbit being the second strongest, flock of penguins, second being an omega chonker penguin. Okay. Okay, this is doable. That's enough information there. What we can definitely integrate that. Item for Thatcher, magic hat. You lets you use hat trick skill, and pulling out different animals has different effects. Flower heals enemy. Rabbit for low damage. Flock of pigeons to hit all enemies. And big penguin for single target big damage. There we go. That whole thing is definitely integratable. Quill, I have another idea. Quill and chat being reserved as gods in this world. Quill as immortal, decisive. And sometimes we've seen your favorite area of this game. Back, what did I miss? A lot. We're fighting zombies now. And the chat guide be represented by swarms of literal dragonflies that are the size of a dragonfly, and there's at least one chat god representative on Quill God's shoulders. Zombie flesh puddle. It was born from the flesh of 100 zombies. When a mysterious orb activated and merged the zombies together. I think it would be funny if one of Ryu's forms would literally be a skeleton dragon and give him undead properties with the signature move of summoning undead. There is going to be a lich dragon that we are going to fight at some point during the upcoming portion of this adventure to give Ryu his next dragon form. So that is something that we are going to get to. Alright, let's continue. We found a Necrid Heart and a Dr. Pepper. Ryu is now level 11. Whew, finally. Eastgate is secure. Same here. All enemy forces have been eliminated. No meaningful losses to report. Is that so? I mean, it's alright. Have your men start checking for any stragglers and begin the census. At once, Captain. What the hell is going on around here? We won, right? Why do you still seem so on edge? You haven't briefed them? Sir, no sir. There hasn't been an opportunity. I see. You're still the first reinforcements we've had in weeks. You'll have to do for now. Huh? Follow me. We need to talk. Okay. And we're back here in the Temple of Life again. Do you know how many people live in Wallachia? What? Please just answer. It might be really important. It's about 5,000, isn't it? I see. Thank you. And yes, you are right. The city can accommodate about 5,000 people. So why did you ask? Because there are only about 4,000 living here right now. You've lost 1,000 people? We're not entirely sure. I don't understand. You should start from the beginning, Captain. Yes, you're right. It was about 2 months ago when the first horde of undead attacked the city. They were not particularly difficult to repel, in all honesty. Not a single person died in the battle, though there were a few serious injuries. The attacks continued. Every few days, another mass of zombies throwing themselves onto our blades. A month ago, there was a particularly chaotic battle. The zombies managed to get quite far into the city. It took a while to force them out, and then we had to go door to door looking for anybody who needed help. That's when we started to notice it. Notice what? Too many houses where nobody lived. Too many homes with too few people in them. Wrong form of 2. Wrong form of 2 in post-zombie invasion dialogue. All the signs of recent activity, but too few people. And we can't remember who might be missing. What? How? We don't know. Something is taking the people of Wallachia, and it seems that when it does, we all forget that they exist. We have started doing regular census checks after each zombie attack. Written records, at least, do not seem to be affected. The losses have slowed, but not stopped. And you've lost 1,000 people this way? We aren't entirely sure, but we think so. Something terrible is happening here, and we don't even know how to properly fight back. You want to help? We can't just let this go on. What can we do? I was hoping you'd ask. Most of us are needed to keep the city safe. Take Elena with you and start looking around. Try to find anything that might help uncover what is going on in Wallachia and put a stop to it. We'll figure this out, Captain, and we'll save the city. Okay, so there is our big briefing for this section. It's up to you now. Our resources are taxed as trying to keep the city together. Elena is now a permanent party member. So this is Elena's house. And if you look around at different things, she'll have little comments on them. Pretty basic. This room is not hers, so she doesn't say much about it. Not bad. Okay. Everything is working the way I need it to. We can get a steel shield for Elena. We're also now sitting on over 4,000 bottle caps. Honestly, a nice accessory would probably be good. A clear head charm is expensive, but it should be useful. And time for crafting. So we're going to combine a Necrid Heart with a bottle cap ore. Hold... Wait. Necrid Heart. Bottle cap ore. That should not be a composite helmet. Okay. Fix crafting recipe. Necrid plus ore. That should make you like a vial helmet or something. We can go a Necrid Heart and a bubbling water, which is asking about steam bomb. Okay. So I'm going to have to check all Necrid Heart crafting recipes. That's going to take a while. But clearly they are not functioning the way I want them to. Be careful out there. Okay. So we have access back to this. Give me one moment, everybody. Okay, everybody, I'm gonna take like a 5 minute break, make sure that I hydrate and everything. So I will see you back here at 5 minutes after the hour. Okay, I am back. Let's catch up. What you said? Now I'm thinking about a frog-themed frog mouth helm, which increases speed and dexterity. Audrey says I had an idea on what to name the event where you meet Bong Bong, Fandom Mayhem, or Full Quithoff Meltdown are the two names I chose. any names for the event itself is basically just going to be back-end stuff, so it's probably not anything that would be actually presented to the player. We do really need to recover before we head to the next area. I basically just have one big dungeon left to do for testing, and then, like, you know, a story event after the dungeon, and then that will basically be it, and I will have covered all of the material for the project that is currently in the game. And, oh dear God, I have so many things I'm going to have to add. But, that's all right. Let's go. So, welcome to the abandoned temple. What about a unicorn helmet that gives you a blessing of the narwhal, which boosts maximum stamina by 20% and passive stamina regeneration per turn? Okay. That's a good piece of specific item. Okay. Unicorn helmet. Increases max stamina and gives stamina regeneration. And the frog helm with speed and dex. Alright. So our first enemy here in the jungle. The anacondas. Alright. Let's try a lucky slash and maybe we'll be luckier. Okay, 133. That did not do much. Anaconda's got a good amount of health. What if Chat and Quill are the final boss of the game? I've already got about 4 suggestions for what the final boss of the game is going to be. The final boss is going to be a weird situation. Okay, we are good. Did I put the new stuff on Elena? Yes, I did. And we're sitting at +4 on Dragon Scales. That's good. The Crazed Canopy Catboy and the Jungle Vine. So we had the Feral Forest Feline, the Feral Fissure Felines, and now we have Crazed Canopy Catboys. Because I will never stop using alliteration in my writing, and if you ever try to stop me, I will destroy you. Let's go, Malter. Ryu! Fire Breath. Good. Really shouldn't have wasted my stamina on another fire breath. I'm gonna turn off command memory. So there's a big old temple. And we can climb down into the temple catacombs. So the temple catacombs have some bottle cap ore in them. Each chat representative could look like one of the representations of the final boss. You have to beat boss rush style until you fight Quill, the true god of this world. I do not plan on doing self-insert. Let's see how strong Zenith is against not undead. Oh. Yeah, that's
still just extremely strong. The Catboy purred seductively. Damn you, Catboy. Elena is now level 11. It's a green door with a heavy-looking lock. Yeah, there's a bunch of locked doors. And a lot of treasure chests. We got some headless zombies. I'm going to have to weaken Zenith / Nadir's effectiveness on non-intended targets. Because that is still really, really strong. Holy crap, that is powerful. Boots of the Lord. Boots for Gaina gives a prayer to summon a tsunami. What do we got? Okay, we found the Emerald Key. The Emerald Key fits smoothly into the lock. The gate vanished, but the key remains in your hand. Okay. So here is a chimpanzee with a knife. The first boss was a gorilla with a lot of guns. This is a chimpanzee with a knife. Fire breath. Honestly, you can't argue the concept would be perfect for a chat-inclusive game project. Yes, but I actually have another idea for an RPG Maker project, which would specifically be a game that is intended to be played while streaming, and would have all sorts of references with chat. So I do have another project in mind that's actually going to be primarily focused on chat integration. Maltermite is now level 11. Bottle opener learned. Okay. The Emerald Key fits smoothly into the lock. The gate vanished, but the key remains. 1,000 bottle caps, 1,000 bottle caps, 1,000 bottle caps. I found the Sapphire Key. Okay. That's another key. Let's keep exploring. Ryu, do your thing. Screw it, Ice Storm. Got it. Okay, the Sapphire Key opens the door. We found a Vile Crown. So, I'm pretty sure Thatcher has by far the lowest defenses. So we're going to give Thatcher the Vile Crown. A crow woven from dark magic prevents the wearer from being cursed. A beast hide, that's good. How about the one representing Quill looks like a porcupine with many sets of wings and eyes covering their quills? I just don't really want to do like a self-insert for this project. Alright, we found 2 blood soda. And blood soda restores half the drinker's maximum stamina but drains half of their maximum HP. Oh boy. Alright, we got a chimp with a knife, a crazed canopy catboy, an anaconda, and a jungle vine. That's a hell of a pack of enemies. Malter learned bottle opener. Expose the weakness in an enemy's armor, reducing their defense by a third. Sure, we can use that on the Anaconda. Lucky Slash on the Anaconda. That did not do anything. Okay. Ooh, good crit, Ryu. Thatcher is now level 11. 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. That is so many bottle caps. We need more stamina. Got an idea for the feline series. The carton confined cat boy. It's a cat boy in a box. That's brilliant. I love it. Carton confined cat boy enemy. That's perfect. That's brilliant. I love it. Okay. And that's 1,000 bottle caps. Where the hell do I get the rusty key? Ooh. Damn, that spell hurts to get hit with. Okay. Oh my god, you are such an annoying cat boy. Alright, so it must be up here then. Alright, we got the chimp with the knife. Good job, Malter. Thatcher, you know what to do. A mysterious voice is heard from the darkness. Behold, the earthly remains of the nobles who led our dynasty. Okay. Here is entombed Moirut. There's another line of text on the slab. A prince was buried with his bow and arrows. So this is a logic puzzle that I introduced. Aubrey! Aubrey, I'm calling you out. You are now on notice. I will give you the clues to this puzzle, and you are going to have to solve it. Let me actually, like, RP walk through the walls here real quick. Just so I can get this key a little faster. Gate vanished, key remains, bottle cap ore. There we go, rusty key. Alright, Aubrey, I need you to pay attention. I'm going to see if you can solve this riddle. This is actually important because I need to know if people who are exposed to this game are able to solve it. It is some kind of a grand epitaph. Across the top in archaic script, it reads, "What was the order of the four kings?" So, Aubrey, you have to determine what order the four kings were. And you are going to get 8 clues. So, here are your clues. This is the tomb of Moirut. A prince was buried with his bow and arrows.
Here is entombed Kedis. There is another line of text on the slab. The second and third kings share an artifact. Here is entombed Jorvik. There is another line of text on the slab. None of the princes had L's in their names. I don't care. Here is entombed Draj. There's another line of text on the slab. The first king was succeeded by Telemox. Here is entombed Lebanon. There's another line of text on the slab. The princes were never buried with banners. Here is entombed Urubin. There's another line of text on the slab. There was a prince who loved spiders. Here is entombed Telemox. There's another line of text on the slab. Anestros was not the last king. And here is entombed Anestros. There's another line of text on the slab. Lebanon was not the third king. So you have now seen the 8 clues. So what you have to do is you have to figure out which of these 4 were kings and not princes, and in what order those 4 kings were. The one with the spider was probably one of the kings. So this clue says, where was it? There was a prince who loved spiders. So this one has spiders and is Jorvik. So this one was a prince, and we can conclude that Jorvik was not one of the 4 kings. We can also tell from this one that the princes were never buried with banners. So right off the bat, there's 2 of these that have banners. So we know that they have to have been kings because they were buried with banners. But why put the spiderwebs there? Because this was the prince who liked spiders. Every tomb has an artifact in it. So this one's artifact is the spider webs. So this guy loved spiders. So if we read this clue, there was a prince who loved spiders. So that tells you that this guy was a prince. And since he was a prince, he's not one of the 4 kings. It is a solvable logic puzzle, and I put a lot of effort into making it. So Telemox, Anestros was not the last king. So we know that Anestros had to have been a king, and Lebanon had to have been a king, since these 2 were buried with banners. So this one says Lebanon was not the 3rd king. So we know Lebanon was a king, but we know that he wasn't the 3rd king. The 1st king was succeeded by Telemox. Okay, so now we know for sure who the 2nd king was. We don't know who the 1st king was, but we know the 2nd was Telemox. We know the 3rd couldn't have been Lebanon, but we don't know who the 4th one is. So this one, Kedis, the 2nd and 3rd kings share an artifact. Okay, so there's only 2 cases of repeating artifacts, and those are the banners and the swords. So this was Lebanon, and this is Anestros. So neither of those 2 are Telemox.
and we know that Telemox was the second king. So these two cannot be the second and the third. So all that leaves is these two, the two with the sword plaque, must have been the second and third kings. And indeed, this one is Telemox. Inestros was not the last king. So we know that Inestros wasn't king number 4. And we know that Inestros could not have been 2 or 3. So Inestros has to have been first. And then after Inestros had to have come Telemox. So the third king has to be the one who shares his artifact, which is Kedis. So the order went Inestros, Telemox, Kedis, and then finally the last king, Lebanon. So now we have the solution. We were able to logic it together. And you recognize the names written upon the epitaph. You reach out to touch it, and the names begin to move wherever you point your finger. Who was the first king? The first king was Inestros. The second king was Telemox. The third king was Kedis. And the last king had to have been Lebanon. A small section of the stone clicks and slightly moves. It looks like it can be opened. A foul stench wafts from the opening. You can hear movement inside. Will you force it open? Sure. And it's another zombie flesh puddle! Alright, just like before, we're going to start with a cursed bomb. Malter, you are going to be on item duty. Elena, you're on prayer duty. Thatcher, you're casting Zeniths. Malther, go with a Baja Blast. There we go. Now we can't use any of his special powers. We'll go with Justice Punch. Thatcher, Zenith. Nice. Okay, we've all been cursed, so now we can't heal. We're gonna go with Enrichment, just so we get more rewards. Exercise, so that we can heal. Thatcher, Zenith. Okay. Oh boy, that guy had a big turn. Stamina for Elena. Ryu! Go for the Fire Breath. The zombie flesh puddle is slain. We get an absolute metric ton of bottle caps out of it. We also found a Necrid Heart, Dr. Pepper, and 2 bubbling water. The cache within the stone is now fully open, revealing the skull of a young dragon. Ryu's scales and claws have grown stronger, and Ryu has learned Wing Buffet. So Ryu now has the skill Wing Buffet, where you damage and try to stun one enemy. Ryu is now running Dragon Claws +5. And the old items did leave the inventory like they are supposed to. Good. I feel like putting a Lich for this part would be best after the King Puzzle segment. A Lich... Actually, having a Lich there... having a lich there actually would fit. But I'm going to have liches later on in the dungeon as well. You're absolutely right about that fitting. But it's not quite the right time for it. Okay, so now we can enter this room. We have a bottle of Dr. Pepper. It's a bejeweled coffin. It must be ancient. Unlike the other coffins, this one looks as though it has been frequently touched over the years. There is a small switch near the center of the coffin. Will you flip the switch? We're gonna get a lich dragon later on in this chapter of the game. So that opens a door. And now we travel through here. Where the hell are we going now? I have no idea. It looks like this passage goes on for a while. And we arrive here in an underground passage. Ah, greetings. 'Tis I, the out-of-place merchant. Yes, it most certainly is. Okay, we're gonna buy 10 crude sodas and 10 cheap energy drinks and a couple more hammers of getting up. Alright, let's top off. There we go. Let's go. Anaconda. I should have known I'd find you here. Okay, it's going for the stunning. But Ryu is now stronger than ever. We can definitely kill you with just some basic attacks. Ryu is now level 12. The cruel cave bats. Fire breath. Nice. Thatcher, Zenith. Nice. So this is just a very basic area. It's not a maze. It doesn't have any branching paths. It's just a walk to the end of the dungeon type of thing. Very simple. Good. Okay. And we save. And fire breath. And a Zenith. Not bad. Not bad at all. Get out of the way! And here's the boss, the Domination Fungus. Oh dear God, we are all poisoned. Okay, that's actually pretty bad. Alright, let's start with the Frostbite. Let's throw a bunch of debuffs on this guy. Wing Buffet. Malter, how about Baja Blast? Good. Elena. Prayer. Very good. Wing Buffet. Thatcher, try Frostbite again. That is not doing anything. Alright, let's try Bottle Opener. Elena, go with Lucky Slash.
Okay, this is working well. We have him completely locked down. Malter, it's time for the bottle cap rain. 2,600 damage. And the domination fungus is still not dead. Okay, Ice Storm. Nice. Alright. We found a Necrid Heart, Dr. Pepper, and a Vile Raiment. Thatcher's now level 12. Malter is now level 12. The Vile Raiment. A protective vest woven with dark magics reduces dark damage taken by half. And then we find this. What is this place? It looks like a city full of zombies. It's ghastly. That's a bit rude, I think. Who's there? Hello, Elena. Mr. Bones? What are you doing here? I'm checking on these poor people, of course. Without a will to guide them, these ones are lost and aimless. What do you know about all this? Peace, please. I have been trying to stop the disappearances around the city, though it has proven to be far more challenging than I expected. We are on the same side. Why haven't you told anyone? I did. Those few I told first were taken, and with their loss, so too did all memory of what they shared with others. Wallachia is in more danger than you realize. Please follow me. I will explain everything. I think that you may be able to help. Okay. And we are back at the surface of Wallachia. Hop in and I'll take you across the river. Do, we got a little boat going across the river. We can talk inside. I'm afraid I don't have things prepared for guests, however. If you ever want to head back into the caves, you can feel free to take my boat. Okay. I apologize for my lack of hospitality. A gravedigger doesn't earn much around here. Shut it with the niceties and start explaining, damn it! It is difficult to know where to start. So much has already been forgotten. How are the undead doing this? Yes, perhaps it is best to start there. The undead are not the ones responsible for all of the missing people and memories. What is doing this? It is an ancient horror, an abomination, a blight upon the very world and all the things in it. Stop with the fancy talk. Apologies. The monster that is feeding upon this town is called a false hydra. All memory of its victims is erased from the minds of the living. It has been nesting in Wallachia for almost a year now. It has killed hundreds. It has walked openly in the streets and simply devoured those that have witnessed it. And anyone those people told, they forget that too? Exactly. The more harm it does, the harder it gets for anyone to remember enough to oppose it properly. And now I am the only one left in the city who is still aware of it. How is it that you are still able to remember? Mr. Bones? I was one of the monster's earliest victims. Only the living forget.
You are allied with the dead. We all are. Wallachia is a city of balance. Light and dark, life and death. The living dwell above under the sun, and the dead linger below in the dark. Laborers, miners, protectors. This is how it has always been. It is not a guarded secret, but neither has it ever been widely known. The priesthood, the nobles, and the aristocrats mostly knew, as did a decent number of common folk. But the monster is clever. It killed first those who knew, and so turned the city against some of its finest guardians and most tireless workers. It has crippled Wallachia. Wait, you mean all them zombies have been trying to protect this city? Absurd! With their masters gone and forgotten, the dead are quite simple creatures. They blindly seek out the monster, drawn into the city. Wait, but you said that you died. In life, I was a high priest of Wallachia and a shepherd of the dead. Arrangements were made long ago that ensured I would rise up from my death aware and mind intact. Some months ago, I sought out the monster with a cadre of elite soldiers and a small army of the undead at our side. In a straight battle, there would have been no contest. We descended into that monster's lair with overwhelming force. What happened? It was only then that we realized how clever this monster truly was. It had made traps for us, and by the time we reached it, our force had been decimated. And in the end, we lost. Wallachia lost many of its best, and much knowledge and awareness was forgotten. When my broken body rose once more, the Hydra tried to destroy it. I barely escaped, and I have been trying to oppose it ever since. There have been a few plans attempted since then, but each has met with failure, and with each failure the city grows weaker and more ignorant to the true threat. And what the hell are we supposed to do? I managed to procure a device that will annihilate the monster. I sent it with one of Wallachia's best warriors a couple weeks ago, but she did not return, and she has been forgotten. It will take powerful heroes indeed to brave the creatures of the caverns below the Undercity and slay this demon once and for all. What, you mean us? Well, you do have a dragon with you. Surely that will provide some advantage. Don't forget me. I'll rip that thing apart. I would very much prefer for you not to be involved, Elena. What? Why the hell not? I fear I have already done enough harm to your family. What do you mean? The one I sent with the device. It was your sister. What? But I don't... No! Poor girl. I am sorry. Stop standing around, follow her. Elena lives just south of here. I suspect that is where she went. Please return to me when you are done checking on her. Okay. So Elena runs off home. We follow her. I mean, I knew someone lived with me when I woke up and couldn't remember anything in this room. I knew, but I never really thought about who they must have been. The doll, so like mine.
I never stopped to think. And I can't remember. I want to. I try to. But there's nothing there. This has to stop. I don't care what it takes. Okay. So she's back in the party now. This should be passable. Okay. Fade out when Elena rejoins the party at Elena home, and add through to the Elena event when it deactivates. Okay. Couple mild adjustments there. And the last part of our mission briefing. You know what has done this? Tell me how to find it and how to kill it. If you are certain, I am. There is a great network beneath Balakia. Catacombs, temples, mines, an entire undercity, a necropolis. It will take time to search it thoroughly. Where do we start? Many of the passages have been sealed off, either by the beast, expeditions going after it, or neglect. Sections of the city will have to be unlocked one by one. There is a lone tombstone in the graveyard where I have maintained no flowers. It is, in truth, one of the many passageways into the necropolis. Twist the jewel embedded in the stone and the way will open to you. After that, you will have to do much of your own scouting. I do not know which paths exactly will be open to you. As you explore, you will find other passages leading to the surface as well. Your priority should be to reach the heart of the necropolis. Seek the Temple of Darkness. And the beast itself? You do have the aid of a dragon. Surely that will be sufficient. Don't forget us. Right. I'm the best damn Pepsi-mancer there is. Excellent. I wish I had more to offer as direct aid, but what little I had already been offered to others attempting this. I wish you all greater luck than those poor souls. Let's go. Okay, and Thatcher walks over Ryu, and she shouldn't when leaving Bones' briefing too. Please watch over them. Okay? Gods help us all. That works. Ryu should disappear before Bones' final words. We can fix that. Alright, and that is how far the game has gotten right now. There is a lot left to build, obviously. I have to build an entire series of interconnected dungeons underneath the city. That is going to take time. It is going to take effort. But all in all, I think this has been very good. I've gotten a lot of new ideas from people today. I've gotten all sorts of bug fixes and checks and small updates that I have to check. I'm going to be working on those throughout the week. Some will be integrated before next week's stream, others will not. This is a project that simply is going to take patience. And I think that's about all that I have time for today. I've been streaming close to 3 hours, but it is Mother's Day, and I have other things that I need to be doing. So thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for contributing your ideas. Again, this is a public project. There's a link in the description if you want to give this game a try for yourself.
I'm basically all caught up with everything that has been put into the game so far. I update the public release of the game at that link on my itch.io page every couple of months. You can always come in and leave comments or suggestions or ideas on the streams. Leave them in the comments. I've got a Discord as well that there's also a link to. You can, there's actually a dedicated channel on there just for this project. If you've got ideas for this project, if you've got stuff you're passionate about that you want to see integrated, please do share. As you've seen on the stream today, the more detail you can provide, the more specific information, the easier it is for me to integrate new ideas. And I do my best to try and have some kind of cohesion regarding all of these different bits and pieces. So I do hope that you will be ongoing members of this project. I have got so many things I'm going to have to work on, but that is okay. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all on the next one, and it is time to make the sound to summon the end of the stream. Whoa, 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 whoa.